It's got the whole world shaking. COVID. A novel. Kennedy Brown. Urban fiction author. Empress Incorporated. Where the streets tell their own truth. For you, Aunt Gent. Kenneth Earl Lizard Mack. Eddie Floyd Johnson. William Curtis Boo Wilson. You are going to be totally missed. Hug Sam for me, Red Heart. Character introduction. Tameal Niko's wife. Crazy is not a diagnosis. It's a superpower. Every story has that one woman you can't look away from, the one who walks into the room and makes the temperature drop 10 degrees. Tameal Dodd is that woman. Polished on the outside. Powder keg on the inside. And honey, she is 7 months pregnant, off her meds, and driving at 3 a.m. like it ain't nothing. You first met Tameal in Win Your Love for Me, where she went toe-to-toe with Shameka over LaMarre, the father of Shameka's daughter, Empress. When LaMarre played Tameal wrong, she did not cry, she did not beg. She did not post subliminals on Facebook. She called the police and had that man arrested on drug trafficking charges, so smoothly that the only way to avoid the blowback was to escape into the one costume nobody questions. Mental illness. And Tameal wore it like couture. I am not crazy. I am creative. 2 years and one brand new husband later, Tameal Dodd is now Tameal, Mrs. Niko. And she thought she was done with that chapter. New man. New life. Baby girl on the way. Pink and mint green nursery. The whole dream. But the dream came with a footnote nobody told her about. Niko's baby mama, Bristol. Bristol is the mother of Niko's 2-year-old son, Niko. A child Tameal has privately nicknamed Shorty Big Face and refused to allow in her home. When COVID-19 hits and little Niko gets sick with meningitis, Niko quarantines at Bristol's house. And Tameal does not receive this news with grace. She receives it with night vision and a full tank of gas. Because the thing about Tameal is this. She is a woman who has been underestimated her entire life. She used mental illness as a get-out-of-jail-free card once before, and she is fully aware she can cash that card again. She is off her schizophrenia medication, she is watching Bristol's house in the dark hours of the morning, and she has made her intentions absolutely clear. If I spy something between Bristol and Niko, I will unleash a force upon them of deadly consequences. Tameal Dodd is not a villain. She is a woman who has been moved last one too many times. She fought hard for this marriage, got pregnant strategically to secure her position, and found out it was a girl, which is the only reason Niko is still alive and behaving. She knows she is carrying leverage. She knows she is carrying love. And she is not above using either. Do not mistake her instability for weakness. Patrick B.Harris Mental Institute could not hold her forever. The streets know her name. And if you are Bristol, Lord have mercy on your soul because Tameal is parked outside right now. Character introduction. Niko. Game recognizes game. But this game? Nobody warned me about this. Here is what you need to know about Niko. He is not a bad man. He is a man who made one questionable decision after another and woke up one morning legally bound to a woman who turns off her medication the way most people turn off a light switch, casually and without announcing it. Niko met Tameal through his cousin Yvette, a fellow patient at Patrick B.Harris. He started writing to her, then visiting. Then somewhere between her sad backstory about losing her whole family in a fire and her looking like she looked, Niko was gone. Head over heels. He married her partly out of genuine feeling, partly out of gratitude because Tameal handled some business involving his family that he could not publicly acknowledge. She looked out for the people he loved. That made her family. I should have known when she said she vacationed often, that she meant stints at the nut house. But Niko was already 6 years deep into a relationship with Bristol, mother of his son Niko, when Tameal entered the picture. He kicked Bristol to the curb to be with Tameal, a decision he has revisited approximately 400 times since. By the time he wanted to leave Tameal, she turned up pregnant. And when the sonogram confirmed a girl, every rational thought Niko had filed straight into the trash. Because Niko wants this daughter more than he has wanted anything. And that is the exact chain Tameal has him on. He is not stupid. He has seen the prescription bottle with her name on it. He knows she is off her medication for schizophrenia. He watched her turn the vacuum cleaner on as a threat toward their unborn child. And he stood perfectly still because he did not know what else to do. His plan is surgical. Wait for the baby to be born, file for full custody, divorce Tameal quietly, and raise his daughter without her mother in the equation. Simple, clean, reasonable. The problem is that Tameal is not operating in the realm of simple, clean, or reasonable. She is operating 3 blocks from Bristol's house at 2 in the morning with her lights off. And Niko does not know this yet. Crazy recognizes crazy. And I don't recognize this kind of crazy. Niko is stuck between 2 homes, 2 children, 2 women, and 1 rapidly deteriorating situation. He is trying to hold it together without setting Tameal off, without abandoning his son, and without letting Bristol, who clearly wants her family back, get any ideas. He is playing 3 chessboards at once and one of the boards is on fire. He married the wrong woman for the right reasons. Now he is trying to survive long enough to make it right. God willing, the baby girl he is already in love with will give him the time he needs. Character introduction. Bristol. She never stopped waiting. She just stopped saying it out loud. Bristol is the woman who did everything right and still lost. She and Niko built 6 years together. She gave him a son, Niko, a beautiful spirited little boy who is his father's world. And then Tameal arrived like a Category 5 storm wearing good perfume and Bristol found herself standing outside her own life looking in. But Bristol is still here. Her son got sick. There was a global pandemic. And Niko, the man who left her, is quarantined inside her house. She is not manufacturing this situation. Life handed it to her. What she chooses to do with it is another matter entirely. She never waved a white flag. She just folded it up and put it away for the right moment. Bristol wants her family back. She is not loud about it. She is not reckless about it. She is patient and present and she is raising Niko right. And she knows that Niko sees all of it every single day he is in her home. She is not competing with Tameal because Bristol does not compete with chaos. She simply waits. What Bristol does not know, or maybe she does and refuses to be scared by it, is that there is a woman parked outside her home in the dark hours of the night, 7 months pregnant, watching her windows. Tameal is not sleeping. Tameal is watching. And if Bristol so much as looks at Niko sideways, Tameal has vowed that Bristol will understand permanently what it means to be on the wrong side of a woman with nothing left to lose and a diagnostic code that keeps her out of prison. The Ratchet Hood synopsis. It's got the whole world shaking. Told like only the hood can tell it. Alright, gather around because we need to talk about this situation. We need to sit down, take a breath, maybe light a candle. Actually, do not light a candle because Tameal Dodd is in the vicinity and she did not come to play. It's got the whole world shaking is the story of what happens when one unhinged, 7 months pregnant, freshly escaped from the mental institute woman decides that a global pandemic is not a sufficient reason for her husband to be sleeping under the same roof as his baby mama. And honey, Tameal did not get the quarantine memo. Or rather, she got it. She just did not apply it to herself. Let us establish the foundation. You already know Tameal from Win Your Love for Me, where she had that whole situation with LaMarre and Shameka over who was going to keep the man, the drama, and what was left of their dignity. LaMarre played Tameal wrong and Tameal, being Tameal, responded by picking up the phone and having him locked up on drug trafficking charges without so much as a dramatic monologue or a single hair out of place. And when the heat started circling back toward her, she did what she always does. She stepped into the warm protective armor of mental illness and floated right past accountability, like she was on a river cruise. 2 years go by. Tameal is out of Patrick B.Harris, supposedly reformed, supposedly medicated, and somehow she has found herself a whole husband. His name is Niko. Niko is fine. Niko has money. Niko also has a 2-year-old son named Niko from his previous 6-year relationship with a woman named Bristol. Tameal has not welcomed this information. In fact, Tameal has responded to the existence of Niko the way most people respond to a roach in the kitchen. With extreme distaste, a hardline policy, and the understanding that the child is not welcome in her home. Niko hated it but he accepted it. You know why? Because Tameal is schizophrenic and not to be held responsible. Say it with me. Not to be held responsible. That is her whole platform and she is running on it every election cycle. She got pregnant not to be petty. But she would have, and she will not pretend otherwise. Now here is where things get layered, because Tameal is not just sprinkled with drama. She is marinating in it. She got pregnant intentionally to secure her position in Niko's life. She needed insurance. She needed something that would make Niko choose her over every other woman in his orbit, including the memory of Bristol. So she made a strategic parenting decision, kept it quiet until she could confirm it was a girl via ultrasound at 4 months because had it been a boy she was not doing it, and then she told Niko. He lit up like Christmas morning. He renovated an entire bedroom in pink and mint green for their daughter. He was present. He was attentive. He was hers. For a moment, Tameal had exactly what she wanted. Then little shorty big face got meningitis. In March of 2020, right as COVID-19 introduced itself to the world like it owned the place, Niko got sick and ended up in the emergency room. Niko, not wanting to expose his pregnant wife to whatever Bristol and Niko had been around, made the logical, loving, fatherly decision to quarantine at Bristol's house. Tameal received this information on a phone call in which Niko used the word we when referring to himself and Bristol, and from that point forward, all rational behavior on Tameal's part has been officially suspended. She is not quarantined. Nobody told Tameal to stay home, and she did not volunteer for it. She is 7 months pregnant, driving in the middle of the night, parked down the street from Bristol's house with her lights off, watching. Every night. For months. She has a plan. If she sees one moment, one single look, one closed door, one unnecessary tenderness between Niko and Bristol, she is going to unleash consequences that will be both deadly and legally defensible because B.Harris has a bed with her name on it, and the courts have a file with not guilty by reason of mental instability written all over it. COVID is a 3 on the Richter scale. Tameal is the whole earthquake. Meanwhile, Niko is trapped. He is in Bristol's house trying to be a father, trying not to give Bristol any ideas, trying to manage a wife who has gone from moody pregnant to certifiably off her medication in what felt like a Tuesday, and now holding in his hands a prescription bottle that confirms what he suspected. Tameal stopped taking her schizophrenia medication and told nobody. He has a plan to get out, have the baby, get full custody, file for divorce, but that plan requires him to survive the pregnancy. And Tameal has already informed him, while turning on a vacuum cleaner, that if he leaves, there will be some killing done. She was not specific. She did not need to be. And Bristol is just over here trying to raise her son back to health while the universe has deposited her ex-man inside her kitchen like a DoorDash delivery she did not order but is not necessarily mad about. She is not starting anything. She is just existing in her house, caring for her child and being present, which in Tameal's mind is an act of war. It's got the whole world shaking is what happens at the intersection of love, mental illness, a global pandemic, a baby mama war, and a woman who has been to the institute enough times to know exactly how to use it as an exit strategy. It is ratchet. It is dark. It is hilarious in the most tragic way possible. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, there is a little girl who has not been born yet who is the only thing keeping 2 people alive and 1 marriage technically intact. Buckle up. This is not a romance. This is a hostage situation with nursery decor. Kennedy Brown. Empress Incorporated. Where the streets tell their own truth.